Time to make the club go up. Time to shut the club down. This is not how I woke up, but it's how I look now. And it just goes on. Time to make the club go up. Time to shut the club down. This is not how I woke up, but it's how I look now. If you leave with me, we'll be on till morn. Then we rinse and repeat, and it just goes on. 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 Got the joint lit way up. It's time to get down. So loud that my ears pop. We can't turn back now. What is the turn down? To the club we go. So what, the song comes up, and it just goes on. And it just goes on. And it just goes on. Then we rinse and repeat, and it just goes on. Time to make the club go up. Time to shut the club down. This is not how I woke up, but it's how I look now. If you leave with me, we'll be on till morn. Then we rinse and repeat, and it just goes on. Time to make the club go up. Time to shut the club down. This is not how I woke up, but it's how I look now. If you leave with me, we'll be on till morn.
Yeah. So right, so fresh, so five, no less. So right, I just flex. This car get me out of her head. She wanna hear TT on a KDA with a KEB and that's it. Oh yeah, ain't no one left. Rumble, go hard, no rest. Come on.
You got me feeling for your power. Turn the music louder, let me feel it.
Got swag like a hipster. Even girls when I lips ya. What a face, what a mixture. Bare lights when I'm looking to get Insta. Last night was a picture. In the pool getting busy with a mix. So right, so fresh. Top 5, no less. It's alright, I just flex. But she can't get me out of her head. She wanna hear TT on the KDA with a KEB and that's it. Oh yeah, ain't no one left. Rumble, go hard, no rest. Come on.
You got me feeling for your power. Turn the music louder, let me feel it.
Rumble, go hard, no rest. Come on.
You got me feeling for your power. Turn the music louder, let me feel it. Keep on coming back for more. Got me knocking down your door. You know how to take me higher. You got me feeling for your power. Turn the music louder, let me feel it.
Rumble, go hard, no rest.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to what I believe is the first rFactor 2 broadcast for SimRacingOnline. I am your host for tonight, Alex Skinner, and I am joined by my cameraman and colleague tonight, Matheus Marçal. So, Matheus, you want to come say hello and introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, good night, or wherever you are. My name is Matheus, and I'm here with Alex to broadcast the SimRacingOnline historical F3 challenge around Zandvoort.
So, as we said, we're here at Zandvoort for what is going to be a two-race format at the 4.3 kilometre Dutch circuit. Obviously, one of the more complex tracks on the calendar, as we've just come from what I believe was the Spa round last time out. So, going from a very, very fast and flowing circuit to a very, very tight and twisty circuit. Trying to make sure I get myself into the serve at the moment. But all the drivers currently out on track for a short 5-minute qualifying session, so you'll be lucky to get a lap. It's pretty much, as qualifying formats go, it's going to be one of the shorter sessions. 25-minute races, separated by a very short break to get ourselves set up. Hopefully both of us will be with you for both of those races, but other planned things going on means that some of us might have to miss commentating. But it's great to be here for the first round, and hopefully we can join you again in the near future with some of the other races that are going on in the series. But Matteo, you've looked around the drivers in the position as I have done as well. What do you think? Who do you think is going to be, up the front of the field today?
So I was watching earlier practice, open practice for everyone. Michael has done the first and only 158 on the track today. So I think, probably Michael being pole, followed by Ken and John, because they are really two really good drivers, two really fast drivers. Everyone on the low 159s, and I expect good battles between those three guys.
Yeah, and as you said, obviously, as we were chatting before the broadcast in practice, we were saying that we expect people to hit the 59, but people to hit the 58s at all. But, great to see some guys, it was great to see, obviously, guys getting down into those really lower qualifying times. Obviously, this is one of the more chilled out series that we have. Obviously, mid-season already, so people are going to start focusing more on the championship fight instead of all-out glory. Even though some people who are coming in late have that, still have that very much will to want to just push very hard. But obviously, coming into this fresh-faced, I very much do recognise a good few of the drivers on the grids. Whereas I know Matteo won't really have much recognition of a good few drivers. Myself, having been around a good few rFactor 2 leagues by now, I have a good idea on some of the drivers in the field. But yeah, as you say, two drivers currently in the 1 minute 58s, Michal Mazurek and Ken Jagger, both in the 150. Differentiate in pole times as Ken's actually coming across.
Oops, sorry for the interruption. 157.909 by Michael Mazurek. I think that's a new track record, man.
I know it's something I'm actually going to have a look at if that is a track record or not. I don't think I've got any records in the Formula 3 series here, but I know that that is very much going to be pole, and I doubt anyone's really going to challenge for that, especially as it's half a second quicker than Ken Jagger. As I say that the session actually run out of time, so Ken didn't manage to improve, so Michal is definitely confirmed on pole. Looking down the grid to see if anyone else is actually on a lap. Jared Hoffman's on one. As Klaus Germanus comes across, trying to finish a lap. Doesn't improve on his position at all. What about Gerard? Nope, doesn't improve either. So the grid as it's going to stand for race 1 is Mazurek, Jagger, Bremer, Van der Geest, Metcalf, Pichler, Postma, Dos Santos, Devlin, Bosca, Trefny, Ericsson, Hoffman, Germanis, Somoji, and Meshkov. Now, apologies if I do get any names wrong in advance. Please let me know post-broadcast, and I'll make sure I get them, pronounce them correctly next time. But there's a good few drivers that I recognise on this grid. Ken Jagger, John Van der Geest, Brett Metcalf, Barrett Ericsson, and Alexander Meshkov. Meshkov actually very much out of place for where I'd expect him to be. I'd expect him to be a bit, further up the field. Same with Barrett, but obviously different cars suit different people. As we're just chilling out in the warm-up session, just drivers to get used to race fuel compared to qualifying fuel. With Mazurek on pole, as you said, Matteo, you expect him to take him to be up the front. Do you think anyone else could challenge in race pace more so than qualifying pace?
I think with the pressure from Mazurek, from Jagger and Bremner, I think I see people trying to attempting overtakes at at the end of the straight, better being faster than their qualifying time, because more pressure means you have to push harder, and when you push harder you actually make up some time, and I see some people improving their time over the qualifying with the race pace today.
Yeah, pretty much expecting, obviously, as you're going to see now on the timing, the warm-up time is going to be slower than the qualifying times, just basically due to the fact they're running heavier fuel and maybe a harder compound of tyres. With qualifying, it's a do or die one lap dash, and with warm-up you're setting yourself up for the longer race, which, as I said earlier, is going to be 25 minutes. So a lot to come, and as you said, Matteo, when you're pushing a lot harder, you are you're gaining time, but at the same time you are actually at risk of making a few more mistakes. So if Michał hasn't any problems that could enable him to make a small little error, especially through some of the more faster corners, it can either send him off the track or completely ruin his momentum, which is going to really cost him throughout the bulk of the race. And if you're going to make those mistakes, your opponent's going to see where where they're stronger, and they're going to go for those moves.
And you have to pay attention on these cars, because they're really tricky because of their suspension geometry. It tends to get a little understeery on fast corners, and I see a lot of action in the when the race starts, and in the ongoing of the race.
Yeah, exactly, and obviously with these classic cars, there's a lot less mechanical grip, as one would say. These old cars being back from the 1960s, maybe even the 1970s, if I've actually got my history correct, and just from the bodywork of the car. But as you said, Matteo, the suspension geometry and just absolutely everything is completely different. No, top of the line push rod suspensions you have in Formula One now.
And actually no aero.
Just classic wishbone suspension, and
almost no aerodynamic.
No aero, completely. Yeah, pretty much. If any of you have ever driven a Formula Ford, or have any experience of what they're like, this is pretty much the exact same thing, except with a lot more power underneath the behind you. And just remember, these cars rear-engine some of the first rear-engine cars in Formula racing after the big switch up from front engine. So it's great to it's great to see. Hopefully in the future we could see some rFactor 2 mods or anything come out from front and coming around. But what we have is 1950s I should say. What we have for you here is 1960s Formula 3. And this what we're using today you can actually use yourself. The track mod is on the workshop, and so are the cars. It's the Eve and Spark Formula 3 mods made by ImageSpace, incorporate the rFactor 2 before it was taken over by Studio 397. All free on the Steam Workshop. You can go out, have a test, and maybe even come join us in the series. If you go to our website, SimRacingOnline, you can join, log it, register, come and sign up. Yep, down in the description, thank you. And make sure you sign up and come join us, and come join us on the grid next time out. It would be really great to have some of you guys come and join us and have a bit of fun with us as well. It's a very chilled out series. It's more a lot of range and ability, so don't think that you won't be able to match it up the front. John Van der Geest is very lucky with where he is on the grid. Let's put that right. He ends up.
John came in knowing almost nothing about the car, really. He was explaining to us earlier today.
Well, he said in the practice session that he knew absolute squat about this car. So, you know, John knows nothing about the car. Matteo knew nothing about the circuit coming in, and well, you know, I knew both. So we're very well prepared in this race, then. But no, it's one of the. This is what, as I said in the start broadcast, one of the more technical circuits on the calendar, and just a lot of drivers going to. You know, if you make a mistake around here, it's not too costly, but you know, you're gonna find yourself on the back foot very, very quickly. As pretty much every single corner here is an overtaking spot. But as we come to the end of warm-up, Flavio Bosca has done a 2 minutes 1.9 on race pace. Meshkov's done a 2:05. Trying to see if any of the top lot have actually done any race running, you know, laps on race pace at all. Very shortly, he's on the front straight. 1 minute 59.4, so we could be seeing 1 minute 59s, maybe even in race pace, unless he's just on quality fuel to try and scare everyone off. But as a very, very famous man once said, everyone, please leave the grid if you're not essential. We're going to be getting ready for what is going to be action-packed first race here in the SimRacingOnline Classic Formula 3 series on rFactor 2. Waiting for everyone to line up on the grid in seconds until we get ourselves underway. A beautiful, beautiful grid full of 16 of the finest Formula 3 cars. The lights come on. We hit 5 lights. And we're away for the first race in the Formula 3 series here at Zandvoort. And it's an absolutely amazing start by Maturek, who gets off the line very well. Ken Jagger going on the inside with Van der Geest on the outside into turn 1. Jagger trying to have a look. It's not going to work that well. Top 3 stayers they are, shuffling down the mid-pack. Let them get through towards the end of the first sector before we update on where everyone is, except De Santos trying to make, not Santos, sorry, Pitcher trying to make a move up into P5 now. A lot of argy-bargy and a bit of jostling going on in the back of the field. There's De Santos, some guys nearly making it 3 wide as we come over the hill. They get enough overspeed, it will be going 3 wide. Up the front of the field, it's no change at all, but Van der Geest versus Bremer coming over the hill through the right-hander. The very hard braking zone that corner, because it is, as much as people would say, it's only a lift off. It is nowadays, but back in these days it would have been very big lockup. So I just see it happen in front of my eyes, reacting to it. Jagger going a bit wider through that corner, but Van der Geest getting a better run. Just looking as Bremer's locking up again, trying to go inside of Van der Geest, very much so on the limit. These guys really just trying to keep it clean, especially as Ken is currently sat second in the Drivers' Championship behind Joshua Penny, who sadly can't be here today. There's a big lock up from Van der Geest. He's going to put Bremer on the back of him. This is what I was saying about you can't afford to make mistakes. If you make mistakes, you're going to have someone right on the back of you.
Bremer on the inside.
To the inside of the penultimate corner. It is going to be very tight indeed. Oh, if you had a front wing there, that definitely would have been contact.
Oh yeah.
The joys of the classic cars. You don't have to worry so much. You don't have to worry so much about, you know, where everyone else is in relation. But down the front straight, Ken doesn't seem to have gotten the best of runs. But Bremer going to have even better of a run on Van der Geest. He's going to look to the inside, coming towards turn 1, on the brakes, side by side, lock-ups from both of them. They've both made the corner, and Bremer trying to have a look at Ken Jagger. Not going to work. They come now out through turn 2 into turn 3. Don't go near the curb, it will send the car off the circuit quite quickly. Here's Bremer having a very good look down the inside. It's going to lock up, it's going to allow Van der Geest very, very close to the back of him again. Coming over the hill, down the hill. A lot of slipstreaming. These guys are going to be needed in these cars. The good thing about having no aero is there's going to be no turbulent air to worry about.
Yeah, I was
Van der Geest
like that.
going the thing nowadays in Formula 1 and even in Formula 3, you've got a lot of aero from the cars, meaning you can't really stick as close to each other. It's foul! Bremer, the rear end on his car coming out very, very much. How he kept that? He's got it again! Sideways!
He's on the limit.
Car control
on the
is
limit.
absolutely excellent car control as it's a bit further behind. The Santos and Postman coming together for 6th. Thankfully both of them hold it. As we go back to the fight for the podium, Van der Geest and Bremer very, very close indeed, fighting like they've actually got nothing to lose. And the more I remember, these guys aren't in the title fight as Bremer locks up, goes straight on over the curb, over the white line. But very, very close indeed between these guys. As it's just allowed Mazurek just to completely check out. He's gone. He is gone. He is already way up the order. He's 2.1 seconds ahead of Ken Jagger.
Metcalf and Borska just went off track. Didn't quite catch what happened there, but I think there was contact and Borska and Metcalf went off track just a little bit, but they are back in track already and back on back lane.
Yeah, I was about to say Brett Mc now in P9 fighting with Ericsson for P8, so those guys, two very experienced racers, already having a very, very strong fight at the front. As also look, Zach Bremer's actually gapped John Van der Geest slightly now, so maybe it's a bit less, he's got a bit of breathing room now, has Bremer, sorry. And he's doing a very good job already. Van der Geest has got a decent gap to Philip Pichler, so he's going to have a break. As I say that, Philip Pichler's actually got Royal Postma behind him, so this is the fight for P5. It's going to be very tight into the braking zone, not going to make a move. That's probably the safest idea. Don't make the move and then go for the run, the exit, which he seems to have almost done. Going to look for a move. Nope, he's going to hold back, take a tighter line, which is going to run the car a slight bit wider. You see John Van der Geest in the distance. There's a lock up from Postma, nearly into the back of Pichler. Thankfully, both of those guys get away with that. Very, very, very luckily, actually, I should say. That was almost very big contact indeed. As Postma on the inside of Pichler, coming now down the back straight, coming towards the final chicane, well, the final of the chicanes on this circuit. Tucks into the slipstream, gonna hold his line, but just keep it tight inside in case of any issues. Gonna lose the rear end. Is he into the barrier? Just taps the barrier very, very lightly. And Royal Postman drops down behind Angelo Dos Santos. I mean, Philip Pichler has actually got a bit of breathing room until Santos gets near him. But the gap up the front now, just having a look, as they come across the line to start lap 4, 2.1. 2.2 out, so Ken Jagger losing time. Laps not that bad though, the laps are very to each other, so very impressive driving from these two guys. Zach Bremer not losing much time either, he's only 1.4 behind Ken Jagger at the moment. And then you have John Van der Geest
making a move on Ericsson right now at the inside, on turn 1.
Oh yeah, thank you very much, and he's main stick, and he's now got Patrick Trefny very close behind as well. As Boska's actually dropped down even more places, it seems. So Barrett Ericsson, very, very much under pressure. Oh, Dos Santos now versus the P5 once again. Oh, very tight, small little love tap, but nothing detrimental at all. They'll both keep going with that absolutely fine. Another little lock up, guys, nose to tail at the moment. Really, really close together, coming towards the chicane. No changes whatsoever there. Barracks has got a little bit of a train behind him. He's got 3 cars trying to get into that 9th place. The only one of them can hold that place at any one time. So Patrick Trefny now having a look. But he's also got to be wary of Sean Devlin, who's got to be wary of Flavio Bosca. Any of those guys make a mistake, and you know, Flavio could benefit from this a lot, as Devlin's actually going to have a very, very bad exit, I think. But Treffy's going to go on the grass on the outside of the final corner on the start-finish straight. Through goes Devlin into the top 10. And maybe even Bosca may get him as well, going to turn 1. Onto the brakes, into turn 1. Trevney Lely into the back of Devlin as Bosca loses the rear end. Both of them lose the rear end into turn 1. Neither of them make contact, thankfully. But Bosca's going to have a look. Not going to make the move there. Very, very smart.
Everyone locking up in a first corner there.
Yeah, it's a very hard corner on the brakes because you're coming off pretty much what is in most cars nowadays a full throttle corner. Ooh, just seeing that Mazurek nearly had a bit of an off there, going on a lot wider than he would have wanted. Not losing much time. He's actually still gapping Ken Jager. He's now 3.5 ahead of Ken. Bremer still losing the rear end of his car coming through some of these corners. Really fun to watch, not very fun to be driving, not very fun to be experiencing at all. I can
Look at that.
guarantee you that.
This drift master, man.
Oh, there's Bosca. I've just looked, Bosca's trying to go past Trevney. He's going to be round the outside if he's going to make this work. Side by side, he's going to back off, and I think he's going to go for the cutback on the exit. Gets the drive very, very nicely. Going to tuck into the slipstream again. Maybe he'll go for a very late braking move onto the inside. Nope, just going to hold back. Not confident in the overtaking ability at the moment, but loses the rear end doing so. He's got a nice enough gap to 13th at the moment. About an 11-second gap at the moment, so he knows he's safe in what he's doing. But looking again, sorry, just at the fight for 5th, again, Philip Pichler and Angelo Dos Santos now having a go at it. Great defensive is Pichler, as Dos Santos is either going to have to hold it there or dive to the outside. He's going to do the latter option. Pichler locks up a lot into turn 1.
Really good driving by both of those guys.
Yeah, going to have very bad, though, those guys not coming together, which is always something you like to see. But Dos Santos pounding the back of Pichler at the moment.
Right in there.
Really does not want to let him get away at all. And they're actually losing time to Van der Geest at the moment. 3 seconds is the 3 seconds is the gap at the moment. 3.4, I should say. So they've got, you know, they need to. Santos really needs to get past if he wants to have a shot at P4.
On the inside, contact.
There's contact.
Ooh.
Bit of drifting, a bit of contact. Santos gets spun round, or nearly spun round. Metcalf goes wide. Postma goes wide as well, but gets through.
Metcalf saves him.
Going to have to avoid him, but thankfully, all of those guys getting through there without any contact. Very, very wary of each other. But Pichler's going to hold it, but Postma's now going to have another shot as he lost that place earlier, remember? Making a small mistake, giving it away to Dos Santos. As Devlin's going to have a look around the outside of Barracks from P8. Going to dive it very last minute to the inside. As there goes Dos Santos trying to have a look as well. Even more contact almost as Bosca's trying to have a look. When the front of the field doesn't seem to surprise you, the back of the field and in the midfield, sorry, can give you a very, very good fight indeed. It's Dos Santos defending from Bosca. Neither of them going to have a good run at all, because that corner's a very interesting one, because even if you're on the inside you can really make it work, because you can just straight line the corner if you've got the gap to the car in front of you, or behind you, sorry. Devlin's having a look at Barrett Ericsson. 4 cars fighting for P8 at the moment, with Brett Metcalf not that far up the road in 7th either, so don't count those guys out at all. Catch him. As I say, Dos Santos having to go defensive from Bosca, as Devlin's actually on the grass for a second, as he's locking up into turn 1. But Dos Santos holding that P10 at the moment. Bosca sniffs the back of that top 10 very, very nicely indeed, but doesn't take a bite yet. Devlin's still doing an amazing, still hounding the back of Barrett Ericsson. Barrett Ericsson doing an amazing job to not crack. You know, I've raced Barrett, you know, for a good few races. He's never been one to crack, as I say that. Dos Santos having a look at Sean Devlin. Don't go side by side through there, boys, it won't work. And they've not done so, but it's going to mean that Devlin's going to be a bit wider. Dos Santos is going to go to the inside. He doesn't want to make the same mistake he did last time, and he doesn't. Bosca had an amazing run through there as well, so surprised he didn't try and make a move. Those guys really fighting hard at the moment for P8. But Patrick Trefney's actually really closing up to these guys as well, so he's going to be able to eye a top 10 finish at the moment. They're already 13 minutes through this 25-minute race, so already halfway through. Time does fly when you're having fun, they do say. As Dos Santos having a look back at Devlin again. Trying to make a move, locks up. Ericsson locks up as well. As Bosca slides it out wide, taking a bit too much speed to that corner. As Dos Santos trying to go to the outside. He's going to switch back to the inside for the penultimate corner. Will then follow the line of Devlin to keep that run going, so he doesn't have to worry about losing time to Bosca behind. Just hold the throttle and pin it when you come out of the final corner. Devlin goes a bit wide, that's going to help Dos Santos a lot. Devlin going defensive. Bosca follows, side by side, millimetres separate them. Not even a piece of paper to separate that as Devlin locks up, still holds it. Bit of contact between him and Bosca as Devlin loses 2 places through turn 1. But still, side by side as they come through turn 2 into turn 3. And now, as Devlin goes wide, he's going to be on the grass on the inside into turn 4. Bosca's still able to hold it round the outside.
Patrick spun.
Yeah, Patrick Trefney spun it round behind these guys. Staying in the background of shot. Matheus Bosca having a really good look at the back of Sean Devlin. Not going to be able to make a move. Those guys off the back of Barrett Ericsson now. About a second separates those guys. Oh, as Bosca's actually gone off. Bosca just makes a slight mistake under brakes and goes off the circuit. As I say that, can now look a bit further up the order as the fight for 5th is even closer. As Bosca's actually gone and passed Philip Pichler. Brett Metcalf's actually closed up to the back of both of those guys. But these guys going at it like mad at the moment. Bosca really locks up, so that's going to really compromise him through there. As Barrett Ericsson goes defensive on Dos Santos. So many things going on, I'm struggling to actually keep track of everything. As I say that, Barrett Ericsson goes wide, there's contact. Dos Santos as well, all 3 cars involved as Devlin gets involved as well. Bosca's going to inherit all 3 of those places. Ericsson gets himself going. Trefney's going to take 2 of those places. Is he going to take the 3rd? Ericsson lets him through, fair driving, and Devlin lets Dos Santos through. He didn't actually have to, and Dos Santos wasn't entitled to, as Devlin got caught up in that, but very respectful from those guys to let each other get going. What you like to see, a bit of gentlemanship, and Dos Santos lets him back through the next corner, unless he's got a bit of damage, but much respect to those guys, all, letting each other go back through. Yeah, Dos Santos into pits, and so's Ericsson as well, so those guys with damage on their cars, that's going to take them all out of contention. I think there's a lot of suspension damage on Ericsson and Dos Santos' cars, and Ericsson's out of the race. What a shame for Barrett Ericsson, really holding it strong in P8, but just didn't manage to, obviously this damage on the car was just too much to handle. Dos Santos comes in, see if he gets that repaired. If not, he'll retire from this race. Well, the fight for seconds just heated up very much. Ken Jagger must have made a mistake. He's lost 4 seconds from when we last checked up on him. And Zach Bremner's now very, very close to the back of him. Less than 3 tenths separates those guys. Ken Jagger very much having to go on the defensive now from Zach Bremner to come into the chicane, and doing a very good job indeed. Trying to get the run, I'm just riding on board with Bremner at the moment, just listening to the engine note of that car and just looking at the steering inputs. Nice smooth steering inputs, he's still getting the tail out on that car. He seems to find it a lot easier to control with the tail out on that car, so maybe that's actually working for him and he's not burning his tyres up too much. Coming out the final corner, he's got to tuck into that slipstream down the front straight. The gap between them that time. Yeah, 5/10, so he gained 2/10 in what was that final sector, as both of them lock up into turn 1. I've just noticed as well that Pichler's having to go defensive of Brett Metcalf for P6. Metcalf on the outside into turn 1. Metcalf wide. Is he going to lose P7? No, he's not, because Bosca's very far behind. But Metcalf really having a look for that top 6 finish at the moment. Metcalf very experienced in open wheel racing, has done a lot at GPVWC, another series I work with. So he knows how to race cleanly and quickly, and he knows how to fight. One of the more experienced drivers in the field, of course. As Ken Jagger's opened up that lead even further now. Opened it up to 8/10. Having a look, Brett Metcalf really trying to hound the back of Philip Pichler. He's going to go on the inside on the exit of the lot of the left on the exit there. Very, very close between these two guys. Pichler's going to have to go defensive. No, he's not. But Brett Metcalf's going to dive it to the inside. Makes his indication early. Pichler's going to take that corner very, very nicely indeed. He's going to probably have the run out of the exit as well. I think Brett Metcalf's raced at Zandvoort since the International Touring Cup last year, if I remember, when we raced here. But he does a lot of practice, puts a lot of work in. It does show indeed. The same for all of these guys. You put the practice in, the pace will come. This Vandergeest has been caught by Posma. Though Posma's very close, as I say that. Brett Metcalf very close indeed to the back of Pichler, almost hitting the rear of him with the overspeed of that car. Going into turn 1 on the brakes. Pichler locking up side by side. Metcalf on the outside. Still side by side, coming through the left-hander of turn 2, coming into the braking of 3. Not going to be able to make it there. He's not going to make it into 4 either, as Pichler has it inside nicely covered. Less than 5 minutes remaining on the clock here at Circuit Park Zandvoort. As I say that, Metcalf really handling the back of Pichler, trying to force a mistake out of him, it seems. I doubt Pichler's going to be able to fall for that easily. There's also Angelo Dos Santos has actually kept going. He's a lap down. He's just behind Sean Devlin in 10th, so he's currently 15th place overall, but he's still running. So you know, kudos to Angelo, who's still going to score points for finishing. As far as I'm aware, I don't know if you do. Wasn't actually sure if you score points for DNFing, but assuming you would not. But Metcalf still trying to have a look at Philip Pichler. These guys putting a really good performance on so far. A really good show. Coming into the chicane. Metcalf seems to take a bit of a tighter line, but it seems to close him a bit later on the brakes. Seems to benefit him as he's really close to the back of Pichler out of that corner. He needs to make sure he can get the run coming towards turn 1, which he seems to each time. So coming through the penultimate corner, now coming into the final corner. The double apex right-hander, it's actually a double right-hander, there's a small little straight connecting the two. Gonna have the run as well. Pichler instantly goes defensive. And so you're gonna have to go to the wall if you want to have a go at me, Brett. And Brett's gonna have a very good look on the outside. Last of the late breakers. Brett's got to hold it. He's going to actually run a bit wider. He doesn't seem to be able to get the car slowed down enough on the outside. So that's where Pichler seems to go through. If he can get that car slowed down, he'll be able to make that move around the outside, I feel. But all over the curb, and that's what I mean. You can't hit that curb, it will just send the car. But Pichler goes wide. Metcalf to the inside. Metcalf makes the move stick as they come out of the corner. But But now Pichler's going to have that knowledge of where he was weaker and where Brett was stronger. So he's going to switch that around completely, make his weak spots Pichler's strong points and Metcalf's strong points. Well, he's going to try and be a bit stronger. But it seems to go a bit wider through there, so I have a feeling that Brett's going to slowly start gapping those guys before too much longer, sorry. Bosma struggling to catch Van der Geest as Bremner's now 2.3 seconds behind Ken Jagger at the moment. Actually, sorry, scrap that. 2.6 seconds. Sorry, 2.7. I will get my numbers right eventually. 2.7 seconds actually now. Well, I still don't know how Van der Geest is currently up off. That's what's surprising me. This race, managed to hold that. You know, probably go and buy him a drink.
Michael, 15 seconds, 16 seconds in front of second position, Ken Jagger. Really alien driving there.
Whatever hacks he's using, I really would like to know, because I'm very curious as to how he's gapped him by 12 seconds in 12 laps. It's a second a lap, but we're not actually coming to...
He got the fastest time in sector 1, 2 and 3. That's insane.
So he's also got the fastest lap of this race, and I'll actually have a look at what that is at some point if I can.
157.767. He improved his lap speed.
That is absolutely mental, and Ken's just got no answer for him. Obviously, remember, reverse grid next race, so obviously may be able to pull a gap up front, but can he fight his way through the field is what we have to know.
That's going to be really interesting to watch, man.
Especially with some of the slower, drivers up front. Are they better at being, roadblocks than they are at, being hot lappers, as we say? But coming towards the end, lap 13 at the moment for Michal Maciarek, doing a very great job. As I just look at the back, as we're actually at the end of the race, so the time it hits 0, 25 and 25 minutes, 13 lap race, and this could be what we expect next race, maybe. So Michal Maciarek doing an amazing job, and possibly is going to have to do a do or die move if he wants to take P4 away from John Van der Geest.
Oh, accident on the straight. Gerhard Hoff just lost the wheel there. I think the accident was with some OG. I have to look on the replay in a moment just to see that.
It's coming, but coming through the final corner, as we have to say, an absolutely dominant victory by Michal Maciarek, taking the victory here in race 1 of 2 at the Zandvoort circuit. Let's see what the final gap is at the moment. 25 minutes and 46 seconds was the race time, so that's very impressive by Michal. What's Ken Jagger going to do? Comes across the line, he is going to finish second place, 26 minutes, so 14.1 seconds back. Zach Bremner takes the final podium spot. Oh, and Ro Posma's actually done it. He's gotten past John Van der Geest. John Van der Geest loses 4th place to Ro Posma.
Wow. Well done,
I might have cursed it. I'm very sorry, John. I'm very sorry, John. Brett Metcalf will take P6. Philip Pichler will take 7th. Flavio Bosca will take 8th. Patrick Trefny will take 9th place out of all of that. Wind up 3 places due to the big accident between Santos Eriksson and Devlin. Takes P9. And everyone on the lead lap, I think, except for Angelo Dos Santos. Obviously, Jared Hoffman's going to be classified as he did, completed 90% race distance, only a lap down effectively. Don Devlin takes P10. Klaus Germanis very close with that. Oh, Alexander Meshkov. Germanis actually pits. He thinks it's over. He loses a place to Meshkov. Meshkov very lucky to avoid him, actually. That was nearly a big accident indeed.
Oh, wow. I did not expect that.
Very lucky for Alexander Meshkov. Actually going to finish P11 out of that. But an absolutely amazing finish by Michal Maciarek to take the victory.
Solved with big damage on his car. Can barely drive straight. God, I'm gonna see what happened there, because I'm really curious now.
I think that might have been the accident. Well, I know he was side by side with someone going into turn 1, so that may have been what caused that. he's actually going to finish the race. So well done to Tomogyi. He's actually going to finish on the lead lap as well. So well done to him. Congratulations to Michal, who finishes the race, and obviously, as you said, won the race in the end by 14.1 seconds over Ken Jagger. An amazing job. But as I said, you know, I cursed John Van der Geest. Oh, and as I'm just reading now, Barrett Ericsson had stutters apparently. Apparently Barrett Ericsson was getting game stutters, so you know, basically the game would freeze, you know, for about a millisecond or so. So he caught those 3 guys out in that race. Jared Hoffman had the accident with Zoltz and Moggi, apparently, just looking at the chat, so that would be what caused that, and you know, a lot of congratulations going on between some of the drivers themselves, so you know, great to see that happen between them, you know, a lot of respectful gentlemen out there.
Congratulations to Michael to being the Alien of the Event award, you know, doing the fastest Sector 1, Sector 2 and Sector 3, being the fastest qualifying time and fastest, even faster race time on 1:57.767. That's really fast, man. Congratulations on that.
Yeah, my voice actually hurts after just one race already. That's just how much action was going on, you know. There's Ken and Brett laughing as well. Race 2 obviously coming up very shortly indeed. Apologising to John Van der Geest for guessing him, saying he actually was he was running 4th, and I was surprised at it.
It was right on the last lap. He got
that was so.
It was really surprising seeing that.
Obviously, short little break now until we come towards the second race of the evening. Just a quick server reset, just to make sure that we can make sure everything's reset and we can change the grid around. But definitely a very good race indeed. One of the things I do like about Zandvoort, though, is, as you know, it challenges Circuit Spa-Francorchamps for distance, you know, 4.3 kilometres circuit, but it's also got a lot, you know, I'd say a lot more overtaking spots and a lot more spots for drivers to make those moves and make them happen, instead of them be, you know, very, you know, instead of you having to wait, you know, half a lap to make a move. You can pretty much make them short and sharp, with a lot of corners following straight on from each other. So if you make a mistake up a rouge, you're going to have to wait, you know. You've got the whole back straight to lose the position, instead of, you know, maybe a corner which you can then get it back straight away. But obviously, this circuit is one I've always adored, and you know, just as we go into warm up for the second race. Oh, sorry, in practice, we wait now.
Short 2-minute practice.
Too bad then. Hopefully we can have this amazing racing through the second half of this event. Another 25-minute race. Philip Pichler leaving the race. Hopefully he can return, as he was one of the guys that very much gave us a lot of action. What I remember with the there's John Van der Geest that actually burnt up his tyres. And I was tricked by John Van der Geest once again. Told me it was a reverse grid race. So no, we've got another qualifying session, another short 5-minute qualifying session. So expect the order to change, pretty much remain unchanged from previous qualifying, as I'm going to have a feeling.
Michael doing 157s again, I guess.
Qualifying about to start for race 2, so let's get full coverage of the second qualifying. Sorry we didn't manage to get it for the first qualifying session. Thought it a bit late with getting everything set up. We moved to qualifying for the second race of the day. Another 5-minute qualifying session, nothing spectacular. Gives us another bit of time just to have a chat about our opinions on that previous race. So obviously, let's just start the ball rolling. You know, Nick Howe won. Nothing unexpected there. Ken second, and yeah, sorry, I was about to say Barrett. Sorry, Zach Bremner finishing third. Obviously, was that what you expected? Would you expect anything totally different from that, Matteo?
For qualifying 2, I think I would like to see John Van der Geest making a move onto third place or second place, I guess. I would like to see Michael doing, better, I guess, doing 157 lows, like 157 to just, to wash off the other guys off the track and just like make them give up because they won't get first place very soon. Obviously, I would like to see Dos Santos doing better at this one. Having better opportunities to pass and having an overall better race, and I would like to see Zolt recovering from the last race that he lost a tire on the straight and had a big accident and all that. And yeah, I look forward to closer races and closer battles for the next one. Alex? Looks like Alex is out. I think he got an internet problem or something. But we're gonna keep it rolling. Yeah. Qualifying is on. Michael on his flying lap to the qualify. Oh, big oversteer for Mashkov there. To the Reno corner. Big straight coming into Audi S. Mazurek making a move on. Currently Michael Mazurek is dominating the pack once again with the fastest Sector 1 and Sector 2 times. Let's see how she's gonna make the final stretch to the finish line. That was a 1:59.258 pole position for now, at least.
I'd like to apologise for my sort of slight absence there. I was having a small little technical hitch from my internet. Small little technical hitch from my internet there, it seemed. So now back, and can you update me on the standings in qualifying?
Okay, so qualifying, Michael Mazarek on first place for now with a 1:59. Then second place comes Zach Bremner with a 1:58. Not 1:58, sorry.
59 or?
Let me see here. Okay, Zach Bremner with a 1:59.722. Then comes John Van der Geest on third place with a 2:04.94. And Flavio Bosga with a 2:668. I'm really surprised to see Flavio Bosga in 5th place now, as Ken Jagger didn't come to a fast lap yet, I guess.
He'll probably set his lap a little bit later as the track rubs up, because remember, with rFactor 2, unlike some other simulators, we actually have a real road simulation, so the more you drive on the track, the more the track rubbers up, so pretty much got the same qualifying conditions as we did previously, except with a bit less rubber. So, well, actually with a lot less rubber, I should say, sorry. Those would be very interesting indeed to see how the times fare, because they'll probably actually be a bit slower now with the less qualifying, with the less rubber, sorry, but knowing these classic Grand Prix cars, I really doubt it'll make much of a difference.
Michael updating his time from 1:59 to 1:58.432.
I take back my comment.
On qualifying.
I take back my comment on the rubber maybe making a difference. It obviously has made him quicker. A lot of people build these setups without rubber because they build them on single player. They probably don't really build them with rubber. So if you don't have the rubber, your car gets a lot quicker. But once it does rubber up, the car maybe becomes a bit too grippy, and you know that's what we have to look at in maybe the longer endurance races that I run my team with. You have to look at the long game, and you have to go, okay, do we put the setup for a short sprint race where there probably won't be much rubber, or do we build it with a lot of rubber so we get quicker later in the race?
Flavio Bosga is still in 5th place, didn't update his time from 2:668. Let's see who else is on the track.
Angelo Dos Santos is
on track.
And so is Jared Hoffman. But what I'm surprised at, just looking at the order, is Ken Jagger, 2:07, 6th place. Very much out of position, but maybe it's because these guys have now adjusted the track a bit better.
So we're restarting for the warm-up.
So, your grid again, Michael Mazarek, Zach Bremner, Brett Metcalf, John Van der Geest, Flavio Bosga, Ken Jagger, Angelo Dos Santos, Jared Hoffman, Alexander Meshkov, Sean Devlin, Roel Postma, Philip Pitchler, Klaus Germanus, Zolt Somogi, and Barrett Eriksson. I don't think Barrett just elected to do a lap with the stutters he was having, but hopefully he comes out and does driving again.
Yeah, but Barrett didn't set a time for this qualifying section here. He didn't set a time. I think he's still having the stutters and flickers on his computer. Hopefully it goes away and we get back on racing.
Yeah, he's back. He's currently coming out of the pit lane, so hopefully he's gotten those fixed. But just having a look, Alexander Meshkov a lot higher and a lot more I expected him to be, having seen him race for a good while now. Alexander, very good driver indeed. Same as everyone here, everyone's very good in their own ways, but just some, you recognise a bit more in others, and having been around sim racing for a couple of years now. Ken trying to work out some maths there. 4 times 2 equals 8. Well done, Ken. You've learnt how to maths. Ken can do some basic mathematics.
Big maths, you know.
Watching Alex Meshkov, he doesn't seem to, that car does not seem to agree with him in some ways, and you know, his driving style has always been one that's been very interesting, and it's all, you know, it doesn't always seem to suit some cars, you know, suit some cars better than others, same with anything.
Seems like TeamSpeak is having a, it's having a little bit of, you know, problem here. Try to fix it and, you know, close the TeamSpeak client here. Try to reconnect.
Apologies for that.
What happened there?
Apologies for that small little technical hitch. The TeamSpeak went down.
Yeah, it looks like it.
A couple of us having a few little technical hitches, and we're just going to sort out a couple of bits and just make sure.
User was moved out of your channel. Channel switched.
Yeah, so we just make ourselves a little private little broadcast channel, just so in case anyone joins the TeamSpeak at any point, they, you know, they don't have to worry interrupting the broadcast as it goes on.
So we are back on running.
Always love the little technical hitches here.
Oh yeah.
Wouldn't be a broadcast without a little technical problem somewhere or other. You know, we've had 2, so you know it should be good now. But 53 seconds left in this warm-up session, and another 25 minutes of throat-wrenching action.
One thing that I was, you know, looking closely, Zach Brumner's car is not sliding all over the place anymore as the last race. I think
That's probably because he's got fresh tyres.
I think he, I think he made some adjustments to his setup because it was really tail happy on the last race, you know.
He wasn't. It was more sliding towards the end of the race,
yeah.
So he's probably burning his tyres up. Same as John Van der Geest, you know, quick in the early phase, and then just towards the late game, the tyres went off and the car slid. But I think Bremner suits a bit more of a slidey car. As Zach Bremner actually doing some practice start, slides the rear end over the curb and spin.
Excuse me, Mr. Zach. I think the racetrack is the great part. You know, look at that, giving a show for the broadcast.
It's just looking at the chat with what John Van der Geest says. No, we can't broadcast that, John. In less polite words, John said, "I'm going to ruin my tyres again." But we can't broadcast him ruining his tyres. We can broadcast him, you know, wearing them, but we can't broadcast him ruining them.
Yeah.
Anyone with the mind about as mature as ours will probably understand what he meant by that. Only 15 cars taken to the grid this time, so one driver not making the grid, which is an absolute shame. But With this time, with Zach Bremner being second on the grid, he was very, very quick last time out. So maybe he can take the victory once again. Bit of a different grid this time. John van der Geest complaining about his grid position, but the lights are on. 5 lights. And we're away once again for the second race here at Zandvoort. And it's an amazing start by the front row. Zach Bremner might actually be able to challenge coming into turn 1 if he's lucky. He's going to have to be very, very late on the brakes indeed into turn 1. Side by side. He's lost the rear end. He's held the rear end. He's taken the lead with the rear end sideways. That is an overtaking move and we need to make sure that is saved. But sorry, Zach Bremner still currently leading. Amazing move in turn 1. I'm still mesmerised by it. But Michał Maciarek looking to make the move. Very, very close. He runs a bit wider than Bremner does. Bremner actually gets a better exit, better run. With van der Geest actually up to 3rd. Van der Geest actually having a look at the back of Maciarek. Maciarek a lot slower this race on the first lap it seems. Maybe taking a bit more cautious. Maybe evaluating his game plan once again. But Flavio Bosca having a look at the back of van der Geest.
And Bremner sideways. Ooh.
Yeah, well, I'm just looking at Ken Jagger's trying to make up places. He's fighting with Brett Metcalf for P5 and needs the championship points. He was currently second in the championship at the start of the first race. I think he'd either closed up or overtaken now into the championship lead. But Joshua Penny missing this race, I think due to being on holiday. Very much going to miss this race indeed. I think missing some of the great actions.
Ken Jagger sideways
over the curve.
Yes. Lost 2 places there. Oh, very unfortunate.
Very, very sideways. Zach Bremner's having to fight for the lead with Michał Maciarek. Maciarek's going to definitely have the run.
Way back there, contact between Timoji and Ericsson at the exit of the Audi S.
Right, we'll go back up to the front as Bremner and Maciarek not side by side, but very close to each other indeed. I think Maciarek might make a bit of a dive on the outside. Bremner goes defensive. Is the rear end going to come out? No, it's not. It's going to keep itself in check. It's learning. Van der Geest very frantically fighting Flavio Bosca this time. And Angelo Dos Santos going wide, loses the place to Postma again. Those two really need to keep themselves in check because they're swapping places left, right and centre. Ken over the curb, onto the grass, into the braking zone, keeps the car in check. But Brett Metcalf currently 5th now, maybe looking to chase down the podium fighters. But I think Michał Maciarek's race may have been ruined slightly. He was definitely looking to try and get Bremner very early on. As Bosca trying to have a look down the inside of Van der Geest. Not going to work this time by John. Come on, John. Got to defend a bit harder this time. And Brett Metcalf having to really defend from Smooth goes wide. He's going to lose the rear end. And Dos Santos is going to go through, and Jagger might have a move as well. Nope, not going to make the move there. But back up the front, Bremner really having to defend for his life. This could actually be a shorter race than before lap-wise, so Maciarek may have less time to make the move than he did last time.
Really hard on the brakes.
Nearly into the back of Bremner. Actually locking up. I thought he was going to hit him for a minute with how locked up the front wheel. He's now going to have horrible steering vibration. There's flat spots on that car. Maybe his pace will drop now as a result of that.
Yeah,
but I feel
Zach is already opening a little bit from Maciarek.
Yeah, rest in peace, Maciarek's wheel is all I'm going to say for the rest of this race. Is Bremner going defensive again? I think he thinks that Maciarek's going to do a dive or something on him, which I really don't think Maciarek's going to do with the position he's in at the moment. Especially not this early in the race. Maybe later in the race when desperation gets a bit higher. Definitely doesn't want to lose it at this point in time, so he gets very close to the back of Bremner. Bremner having to very much with a very, very white car in his rear view mirrors. Coming over the hill into the braking zone. Matrek a bit slidey through there, same with Van der Geest. Van der Geest seems to have got a little bit of a gap to Bosca at the moment, which means Metcalf is closing in. Guys doing a really great job so far of just keeping each other in check. Matrek not pushing too hard. I think he's saving his tyres. He knew the tyres went off at the end last race, and he knows that Bremner complaining about his tyres, you know, means that he's got a bit more leeway this race. He can push a bit less and go a lot harder. The Matrek maybe looking from the inside. Bremner goes defensive. Matrek doesn't lock all four of the brakes at this time, although Van der Geest locking up his front right. As Bosca, Metcalf and Dos Santos are fighting for 4th place at the moment, with Posma and Ken Jagger currently fighting for 7th. Coming down to the start finish straight. Bremner's not got anything to answer for this time. Here comes Matrek in the toe, pulls out of the toe, side by side at the pit exit into turn 1 on the brakes. Matrek leads going into turn 1, unless he doesn't get the run coming out the corner. Bremner's going to be really close to the inside. There's contact, the banging wheels, classic 70s style racing. Oh, I'm sideways again, and he still makes it work. To Sad Bremner, please.
Really exciting battle from these two.
Don't give me a heart attack, guys. Come on. But Bremner now really having to fight for his life, as Van der Geest is going to be rubbing his hands. Well, hopefully not rubbing his hands. He's got a car to control, but licking his lips with excitement. As Bremner's wide. He's on the grass. He slid it, but Matrek's gone off. Matrek has spun off. Oh dear. Down to 6th. He's going to lose 7th to Ken Jagger. He might do indeed. Yes, he does. He's going to lose 8th as well. He's going to go to 8th place. Zach Bremner's going to be thanking the gods for that. That's a miracle in his books. That's now promoted everyone from 7th up a spot now. That Bremner leads from Van der Geest from Bosca. Bosca actually now going to have to defend from Brett Metcalf for P3 instead of P4. Even more pressure for Bosca. Now Matrek coming under pressure from Philip Pitchler actually, sorry. And Jagger goes a bit wide, just looking a bit further down the order. Dawn Devlin into the pit lane for some reason or other. I think he's coming in to retire that car. Yeah, he's got suspension damage on that car. I think he's pulling it in out of the safety of everyone. He was spun off a bit earlier. I think there may be a podium fight coming on, because I can see Brett Metcalf getting a very good run out of the final corner, down the start finish straight in the slipstream. A bit of weaving going on, but nothing major. Towards turn 1, Brett Metcalf decides on the outside. Bosca decides on the inside, loses the rear end a bit, forces Metcalf to slide it a bit wide. Devlin's out with suspension issues. But the fight for 3rd, very much hotting up indeed. Metcalf really trying to have a look. Dos Santos sat just sitting back. He's not really going for any moves. He knows that as long as he holds it there, if they make a mistake or if they collect each other, then, you know, there's going to be an accident. As Michal Matrek is actually on the back of Rob Potsman now. So this is for Potsman, sorry, this is for P7. No move going to be made, but Matrek losing a lot of time. He's actually 7.8 seconds back from 7.7 seconds back from the leader. Sorry, so that is the problem. That's the problem that you've got. Obviously, we're going to be running slow at lap times now, and you know, as long as Mehau is stuck in that traffic, he's going to lose a lot of time indeed. As I said, it looks like he's going to try and make a move. No, he's going to go on the outside and then probably try and make the switch back. But it's not. I don't think it's going to work. I think he's going to have the run. No, he's not. The one who is Angelo Santos. Looks like he's going to have a run on Metcalf. Nope, not actually going to make it work.
Angelo is just waiting for the right opportunity just pass both of those guys, I think. Really clever racing. I see what he's doing and I think it's gonna work.
Oh, as you say that, Posma, trying to actually go to the inside of the fender of the penultimate corner.
Majerek really close to Posma there.
As I say, Michal Majerek looking very into the back of Posma. Down towards turn 1, goes around the outside, locks up from both of them. Yeah, Jagger's going to be looking in his mirrors and going, Posma, please stay as far ahead of Majerek as possible because I need to gap you two. Oh, Brett Metcalf on the inside of Bosca through the very tight left-hander. Bit of wheel banging, but still together side by side over the hill. They're actually going to go side by side over the whole thing. Through the left-hander up the hill.
Very brave drivers there.
This is brave.
It's not a really good place to be side by side.
Got to let the car run a bit wider. Yeah, Brett Metcalf's going to get the run. He's going to go to the inside. Going to make it work. Maybe there's a bit of a slide by Bosca. It's going to allow Dos Santos to have a look as well. The inside, Santos through. He might even have a look at Metcalf now on the inside. As Posma versus Majerek, side by side. Majerek's going to take the place, but enough of that. Metcalf is third, and Bosca is down to fifth, loses 2 places in 2 corners.
Kane Jagger's just there on Bosca.
Oh yeah, actually, that's a very, very good point. It's allowed him to close right up. But it's going to allow Majerek to close up, so we're going to have a 6-car fight for the podium if we're not careful. Ooh. And John Van der Geest is going to be very much trying to get away from these guys as soon as possible. He doesn't want to be involved in this. As Bosca trying to go to the inside of Santos into the final corner. Don't do it there, you're not going to get the run.
Oh, oversteer on Bosca. Oh.
There was contacts as well. Ken Jagger's going to go through. Majerek's going to get very lucky. He's going to get a slipstream down towards turn 1. Ken Jagger's going to have to go defensive or lose the place. A lock up from Majerek. Desperation from Michal Majerek. Is he going to try it? No, he's not. He's going to hold his line. Guys getting as close as they can to that curb. But we have got a 6-car fight for the podium now. Oh, as I say that, Posma actually getting a big tail happy through there. As Majerek trying to have a look to the inside of Ken Jagger. Not going to work there, Michal. Very, very close indeed.
Majerek
to the inside.
Ooh, locks up a wheel.
Very lucky that he didn't actually collect Ken Jagger in that either. That would have been a very feisty post-race debrief between the two as they're side by side.
Inside.
Very much side by side. We're on the run down to the chicane. Who's going to be the last of the late breakers? Ken's going to do it. He's going to make it work. And what Ken really needs to do is just square off the corners. Back Majerek up enough. He's going to try and go to the outside of the penultimate corner. Are you mad? But Ken's going to let him have it. Nah, Ken's going to let him have that. He's not stupid. He's going to go for the run into turn 1. No point costing his own speed when he can easily get him on the exit.
Dos Santos on the straight.
He said that, yeah, Dos Santos to the inside of Metcalf. This is for 3rd place. As Majerek and Jagger are going side by side. Dos Santos takes 3rd. Jagger's going to get out contact. Majerek keeps 5th. Jagger 6th. There's a bit of contact there, something for the stewards to have a look at, as that was a bit weird.
Bosca's closing in for Ken Jagger.
Yeah, Matt's just capitalising on Ken Jagger's slow speed after the contact. Is Metcalf trying to have a go around the outside of the down the hill again? It's not going to work that time. Is he going to try it here? No, he's going to run a bit wide. Nope, not going to work. Ken Jagger's got Bosco on his inside. But Bosco's not going to make the moves because it's not as risky as
Look at Mazurek going. Wow.
He is making up places up to 4th now. I could just sense that coming. 15 minutes of the way through, 10 minutes left, and we're 7 laps, only 7 laps done, so definitely looking like it's going to be the same sort of pace as last time, I feel. Yeah, 1 minute 59 from Zach Bremner, so definitely running a slower pace than last race. But whether Maturek can close up 10.2 seconds in 10 minutes, he did it before, but that was in clean air. So he's got a lot more work to do this time to make that victory come back to him.
It seems like we have technical issues with our TV overlay, so I would disable it for now.
Apologies, small technical issues, still adjusting to the new TV overlay, and we're apologies for that. Usually likes to come back every so often, but sometimes those issues happen. We'll keep you updated on the order as things go on. Because we've now got a 5-6 car fight, for the podium again. As Michał Maturek looking very tasty indeed on the back of Dos Santos. Around the outside of turn 4. Not going to work. Cutback's not worked either. Coming through the S's, up the hill, over the crest, down into the braking zone. Not going to make it work, and he's going to have the run though. Is he going to dive? No, he's not going to dive, so he's playing a bit safer now with Dos Santos. As I say that, he's going to dive straight down the inside of the next corner, so I take back everything I said. Makes P3 though. He's made it work, so kudos to him as Ken Jagger's having a look at Brett Metcalf for P5. Not far back from these guys at all, and very much a close fight going on.
Good Ken Jagger.
Yeah, Ken really having a look. He's going to make the inside, he's going to have a go, Brett's going to give him the room. But no, not going to happen. Now Maturek 10.6 back from the lead now. Zach Bremner's going to be rubbing his hands, going to go, ooh, I've got a nice little gap now. Now, as much as I'd like to say, so I don't think, as much as I really would hate to say this, John Van der Geest, I don't think it's going to be much of a challenge for Maturek. So, coming down the front straight. As I say that, Ken Jagger's in the situation with Brett Metcalf. Brett goes to the inside. Ken to the outside on the brakes.
Oh, a little bit of contact.
Oh, okay, there wasn't any on my screen, but fair enough, contact between the two. But nothing detrimental at all, as Zach Bremner's rear end still comes out on that car, so obviously nothing has changed in his world. With Brett Metcalf trying to have a look at P4. Ken Jagger getting a bit slidey through turn 4.
Jagger, Angelo Dos Santos, Brett Metcalf and Ken Jagger just battling for the 4th position there. They are 1 second in between them all, like from Jagger, from Dos Santos to Jagger, sorry. Really close together.
Only a second between them! Brett Metcalf and Ken Jagger. Small contact everywhere, little love taps. Going into the next right-hander, breaking bits of contact still. Argy-bargy between the two.
Really close racing between those guys.
Oh, as Van der Geest has been passed by Maturek.
Already?
Already. Yeah, already. It's only taken him a lap.
Jesus Christ.
It's only taken him half a lap.
Matheus is just an alien right now.
He's got 10.5 seconds to catch in less than 10 minutes. Is it going to be possible to do it? Because Van der Geest is still actually hounding him, so Matheus not got it easy at all. Van der Geest just needs to hold his own line and just, you know, follow Matheus and get the run down into turn 1, but he can't even seem to do that at the moment with the way the car's handling. Down the front straight away. Into turn 1, nothing's going to be done. As Ken Jagger's also actually now challenging Dos Santos for P4. But if Ken gets past Dos Santos, I would say we'd have a clash of the Titans, but I really don't think it will be. Ken Jagger really looking racy on the back of Santos. Coming through the S's. Nice to take a bit of a wide line, but it seems to pay off in retrospect. Van der Geest is locking up, losing time, and now fighting these. So the fight for 4th has now become the fight for 3rd. As the gap's 11.1 seconds. Bremner's gapping Matheus. Hello? What reality are we in?
We cannot forget Dos Santos because he's gaining time on Van der Geest right now.
Yeah, very much so, and those guys are going to be very careful because Ken is right behind them, and right behind them is Brett Metcalf, so Brett's going to be looking very racy indeed on these guys if he gets anywhere near them. Is Dos Santos looking to have a go? Ken's going to go to his outside. That was a bad idea, Ken, unless you can get it stopped on the inside. Bad idea. If you're going to try and go on the outside, you really need to be alongside so you can get that. If you need to be able to get the power down, if you can't do it, you don't want to be on the outside because the corner comes back. It doesn't come back at you quick enough. The thing about that chicane, as I say, that actually Brett Metcalf's trying to have a go in the final corner on the grass. Not going to work. That's 12 over the leader as I say that. Dos Santos trying to make a move on John Van der Geest to the inside. Laid on the brakes, locking up for the 2. Contact, both of them go a bit wider than they wanted to. But Santos takes the podium place at the moment. And now we have Tweedledum and Tweedledee, Ken Jagger and John Van der Geest fighting each other. Right, everyone get your bets out. Who's going to crash first, Ken or John?
Let's go for a cockpit lap on Ken Jagger view.
Bird's eye view of the front row seat of John Van der Geest. Ken seems to take that corner a lot tighter than John does, and just every other driver in general. It seems to work for him though. He doesn't lose time from it, and then he's managed to hit his apexes a lot better. So maybe we'll see a dive on John Van der Geest very shortly. Coming through, John goes defensive and goes to the outside. Going to go for the cutback, surely.
Better run off the corner.
In the slipstream. Inside, outside, which one's he go for? Outside it is. If you're going to hold it, he's going to have the place. He's gone wide. He's on the AstroTurf. I don't think that's a legal movement, but it doesn't matter either way.
Van der Geest just looking for a move there. Doesn't have any space to do so. Metcalf just looking for a bit of gap between those guys just to make a move.
Brett Metcalf, very, very close indeed. I think it was a stutter there from Van der Geest because he just dropped back into the clutch to Metcalf very quickly on my end. Around the outside. Oh, very close indeed. Side by side almost still. There's Matheus not closing in enough. He's not gonna. I don't think he's gonna. He's not gonna win this race.
Yeah.
He's not gonna win this race. If Bremner doesn't make any mistakes, he's gonna win this race. I swear to God, if I curse that now, I'm going to hang my head in shame. And I don't think any amount of money in the world's going to make up for that. You say that Brett Metcalf very much close, and as I say that, timer hit 0. The final lap of the race, ladies and gentlemen. Zach Bremner has entered the second sector. Oh, sorry, he's coming in through the middle of the second sector. Van der Geest and Brett Metcalf still going at it for P5 as Ken Jack is very wide. Just holds it.
Van der Geest now very concentrated to, you know, keep that position.
But we have to switch the cameras to the leader. A dominant show ever since the mistake from Michał Maciarek. A dominant performance, as I say, there he goes wide. A dominant performance from Zach Bremner. He's going to take his victory. He's going to take it from second on the grid. Zach Bremner will win race 2. He's going to deny Maciarek the double. And Maciarek a first and a second, the best he could do.
Locking up the brakes on turn 1.
Second place for Maciarek. Third place is going to go to Dos Santos. Fourth is going to go to Jago. Who's going to take fifth? Is going to be Van der Geest just. Sixth is Brett Metcalf. Seventh is going to be Flavio Bodska.
Who started in 5th position?
Eighth is going to be Philip Pischler. Sorry. Ninth, Royal Postma. 10th is going to be Barrett Eriksson. Still got some guys going around at the back. Still in the lead lap as well, actually. Gerard Hoffman finish in 11th place. Barrett
Eriksson, who didn't, you know, had any PC problems this race. Very good to see him finish.
Jared Hoffman comes across the line. Take his P11. P11, valuable points actually. Alexander Meshkov going to finish, drops 3 places from his grid spot. 13th is going to be Zolt on McGee, and the final finisher, 1 lap down, is Germanis.
Smashed his car onto the wall on the straight there. Okay.
I've got to say, an amazing 2 races we had here today from the circuit park Zandvoort. I think you can agree there.
Yeah, very close racing between Van der Geest and Brett Metcalf there in the end. Angelo dos Santos having a really good race, really good second race actually, after finishing on the top 10 on the first race there. Michael just was dominating the field, but had an error. Zach just, you know, had its opportunity and won the race on the second one. Congratulations to both of those guys. They raced really well. And for the full 15 guys, yeah, they really raced well. Congratulations to everyone.
What we're going to now see, if anyone actually wants any interviews in the TeamSpeak, come and join us. You know, come and have a chat with us. You know, the SimRacingOnline TeamSpeak. If you know the details, get on and we'll come and you know, come on and we'll have a chat with you. You know, give me a message on the TeamSpeak server, and you know, we'll allow you to come in. Brett Metcalf got to get a whiskey now. I think he's had his fun for the night. He's going to get drunk now. You know, party. He's finished. You know, he's had some good finishes. You know, might as well do. But I think, let's say, for the top 3, you know, this race, for Zach, for, you know, for Michał, and for Dos Santos, you know, those guys really pushing their hearts out, really proving that they have, you know, they've got the pace up there and these races. And great to see those guys having some amazing scraps through the race, and hopefully if we can get some guys to come in, we'll give it a couple minutes at least, you know, to see if anyone wants to come and have a chat with us. If not, then, you know, we've scared them away, and we've, already scared them away from the broadcast booth permanently, so we've done something. But I've got to say, it's been an absolutely amazing 2 races, and for a first broadcast with SRO, I think it's been, a pretty successful one.
Yeah. Can't wait for the next one. That was really, really cool to broadcast with SRO today.
Yeah, I've got to say, obviously, apologies for the technical hitches we had throughout. They happen, they'll be ironed out before we come back live later on in the year.
Yeah.
We've got some planned broadcasts coming up. We won't share the details yet until they're all publicly announced. But we've got some things planned for you guys later on in the year. So you never know. We'll see what happens come September maybe.
Ooh.
We'll tell you.
Can't wait for that.
Definitely can't wait for that indeed. Especially with the fact that we've actually got that brand new series coming up with the rFactor 2 endurance content, the official content, the Gear Endurance series. It's going to be an amazing series, actually, from what I've heard and what we've been talking about. If you've got the endurance pack, the Studio 317 endurance pack, get yourself signed up to it. At 1.5 hour races, 2 hour race at Le Mans, it's going to be short, sweet, and snappy races, multi-class endurance, LMP2. LMP3 and GT from what I remember, so make sure you guys get yourself signed up. It's going to be a really fun series to do, and maybe you'll get some extra surprises thrown in as well for good measure. Who knows? We'll see what happens come that time. But I'm going to take it as as we've managed to get to us that I think we can call that a day.
Yeah, absolutely, we can.
I want to say, a big thank you to SimRacingOnline for letting us come out here, come and broadcast what has been 2 absolutely outstanding races here at the Circuit Park Zandvoort in the Netherlands. And I want to thank you, Matteo, for broadcasting this race.
You're welcome, sir.
It's still quite not that late over in your home country of Brazil, but quite late over here as well.
I mean, it's 4 PM right now.
Very lucky man, still with daylight out of his window. But very, very nice indeed. And I want to thank all of you guys for watching, taking the time, and all of the drivers for attending today. 16 cars in race 1, 15 in race 2, providing some absolutely phenomenal action for the 50 minutes of racing we had today.
Really, really, really good action from the drivers, especially Michael going on a show and doing 1:57. I think that's a new track record. He's the one who set. He's the only guy that set the 1:57 time on that track yet. So.
But the fastest lap of the race going. Yeah, he was the only 57. Fastest lap of the weekend for Matheus Marçal. Absolutely amazing driving. But as we said, I've been Alex Skinner. Matteo has been Matheus Marçal.
Matheus Marçal, yeah.
Thank you. I will get names right eventually, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of SimRacingOnline, I want to thank you very much for coming and joining us. And until next time.
Until next time, guys. Bye bye.